from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Romero, I know you've read the Cleary-Gottlieb report. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
I watched a lot of powerful people in this town try to cover it up. They said, oh, it's bad, but don't worry. The FDIC chairman will fix it. This was the same FDIC chairman who had been at the agency since God was a corporal and under whom all this stuff happened. And fortunately, that point of view didn't prevail. Here's the way I read the report. 97 people at that agency reported 145 separate incidents of sexual assaults. 91 others reported 141 separate incidents of gender or sexuality-based discrimination. 187 people reported 320 separate incidents of verbal abuse. Over 500 people, about 10% of the people at the agency, came forward about discrimination, harassment, mistreatment they faced at the FDIC. Now, I listened to you say all the right words. And you talked about accountability. And you talked about refurbishing the tarnished reputation of the agency. And you talked about listening. And I appreciate all that. But the phrase that got my attention was, send a clear message that this won't be tolerated. If you want to do that, what you need to do before you do your listening tours or all that other stuff, you need to investigate every one of these allegations, every single one, and find out if they're true. And if they are true, then somebody ought to be, the person who's responsible should be fired, should be sued, and or should be prosecuted. And then you'll have a cleaner agency. Now, I don't have any questions. You're either going to do it or you're not. But I think a lot of the members of the committee agree with me. We're going to be watching. Every time the FDIC comes before the banking committee, as long as I'm on it, I'm going to ask you about progress with specificity. Ms. Crenshaw, this climate risk disclosure rule that you're so proud of, how much is that going to cost the companies that you regulate?
Senator, on a per issuer basis over 10 years, I think the economic analysis was roughly $250,000 to $750,000 on a per issue basis over 10 years.
What's the total cost, please?
I don't know the total cost.
You have no idea?
Well, it's going to depend very much on the individual issuer.
So you impose this rule on every single entity that you regulate and you don't know the total cost?
Well, Senator, it depends on the individual issuer. We put in place...
You don't know the total cost?
It's going to depend on the individual issuer.
You don't know, do you?
Because it's going to depend. I don't think there's necessarily...
It's going to be billions of dollars, isn't it?
I don't believe on a per issuer basis that it's going to be...
I didn't say per issue. I mean the total cost.
Senator,
it's going to be billions of dollars, isn't it?
I don't know, Senator.
Yeah, it is. And you know it is. How much, after asking all these businesses to spend billions of dollars, how much is that going to lower world temperatures?
I don't know. It's not designed to it's not designed to lower temperatures, Senator. It's designed to give investors information so that they can assess risk.
Why don't you just send them an email?
Well, I think there's a lot of securities laws that would prohibit us just sending an email.
Let me be sure I understand. You voted to spend, look, we all want clean air and bright water. You voted to spend to require the people regulated and the entities regulated by the FDIC billions and billions of dollars, even though you can't say really how much it's going to cost. You're just going to make them do it. And you can't tell me today how much it's going to lower world temperatures?
Again, that's not what the rule's designed for, Senator.
Well, what's it designed for?
It's designed
to harass people?
To give investors information to
Virtue
assess risk,
signaling?
to appropriately allocate their capital as they see fit.
I mean, this is insanity. You have a personal supply chain. Suppose we passed a law that said periodically you've got to report personally the carbon emissions of the people who make all the clothes you buy. You buy clothes, don't you?
I do, Senator.
And the car you drive, and the house you live in, and the food you eat. How much do you think that would cost?
We carved out all of the smaller entities, EGCs, SRCs, from the final rule to ensure that...
If you think everybody ought to report, why don't you make this rule applicable to everybody at the SEC personally and see how they like it?
Again, we carved out the smallest. We took into account the comment file, and we tried
Tell me
to
again how
appropriately
much this
balance
is
it.
going to lower world temperatures. I don't know if I remember asking.
I think you know the answer to that, Senator Kennedy. Thank you.
Zero.
Your time has expired. Senator Cortez Masto is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Crenshaw, unfortunately, you weren't able to answer